look at you, Gene? I'm just not. I'm just going to look at the clock. Anyway, yeah, Gene and I, we go back a long way. Back to 1968. Wow. And I'll kind of, there's four things that I think about Gene. The first is it's an expression. It's lead from wherever you are. Good is never good enough. Faith in God. And I'll try to explain that to you a little bit. So back in '68, A.M. Kenny was, a number of us probably worked at Kenny. I certainly recognize a lot of people, probably people along the way, but back in '68, you know, I went in there, 21-year-old guy, and there was Gene. Gene had just joined the company, and I didn't actually work with Gene. I knew Gene, but she was, I remember, extremely perky switchboard operator. Whenever Gene would get on the switchboard, we had a PA in those days, and you know, she was just had really high energy. And you know, we worked together, and she had an extremely good reputation, and she worked in sales, and she worked in HR. And I worked there for like 10 years, and all of a sudden I had an opportunity to go to work for a really small company called Camargo. And it was like, you know, 6 people. And you know, it was a huge change for me to go from Kenny at the time. He had 600 or 700 people. It was a big company, and a good company for that matter. And so, you know, we started this Camargo business, and we started adding a few people. And I remember sitting in a conference room with Roy and a few other people. He said, you know, we really have to get somebody to get in here and run all of our typing and our word processing and all that. And we all said, we've got to get Gene. And we did. And that didn't take long, but it was like no discussion. We got to get Gene. Then we went into the, so Gene came out. She has had a very low employee number there with Camargo. And, you know, I'm astounded by sometimes when I look back, because you have no idea how fast time goes. Really, you really don't. But we were, Gene was put in charge of what we called at the time the steno pool, because everything that was typed, every memo, every spec, every letter went through the steno pool. And guess who was in charge of the steno pool? Gene. And so when I say lead, I'm talking about at her level, she led the quality of the organization at that point. And I often think back, you know, even to myself, I say, you know, and then Jacobs came along, which I was really pleased about, quite frankly, and I guess we all were. But we built the business up from like a really half a dozen people to like 300 people. And most of you know, because we had such a great reputation with Lily, Jacob Spot, Camargo at that point in time, the first day of '89, and some of the people in this room probably were part of that process. But again, how many employees do you think Jacobs had the first day, 1989? Anybody have any idea?
2,000.
We had 1,800. So, since 1989, we've grown from 1,800 employees, and that included Camargo, by the way, okay, to 57,000. And it's people like Gene who made that happen. Understand? And I think that's the important thing, is that Gene led from her position of quality. I tell you, I would walk in here every day. I tell you, I never saw her but with a smile on her face. And that's always a good feeling. So, you know, she was part of the engine of this company till today. And she brings that and leaves that legacy with us. Okay? So I talked about those three things and the importance of her to our company. She and I worked very, very closely together for the past 6 years, every day, you know, because she helps me with my traveling 2 million miles in my career and all the various things that I do, and so I got to know extremely well with her. Jean has not had a particularly easy life. She's had a few crosses to bear along the way, and her faith in God has got her through it. And so those are the three things that I wanted to talk about, but I said there was a fourth thing, and there is. And I think all of us can attest to this in the room. Jean is one of the finest people I've ever known in my life. Thank you, Jean, and we will see you soon. Yeah. We have a gift for you that we'd like to present to you.
Thank you.
Okay. You want to open it?
Do you want me to?
Yes.
I was thinking on the way to work this morning, I guess I've never been much for change. Obviously, I've been here a long time. But there have been three constants in my life. The first constant has been God. And He's just seen me through so many things. And on the way to work every morning, I would just pray that God would help me to do a good job. He would help me to make the right decisions. And He would help me to be nice to somebody. And I have had some ups and downs in my life, and He doesn't say that we will be without problems, but that He will go through them with us. And He's always been there for me. And so I appreciate that. And my second constant has been my family. They've been precious to me and have been so supportive and seen me through everything. And my third constant has been my job and the people I work with. And I think I even would have retired sooner, but I consider you all my extended family, and I just love you all so much. I really do. And it's going to be really hard to leave. But I love you all individually. You're just so precious and important to me. And I just thank you for everything. Thank you. And purple, thank you.
Purple plates too.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Make it last a long time. I need the grandkids here to open it for me.
She's not one for attention.
I know you'll have to get back to work. I'm sorry to be so.
Better not be another plant.
Looks like something for
Take
a
your
plant.
time. Take your time, be careful. Wow, that's amazing. Nice.
Oh, it's got my name on it. 1978, 2011.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Do you want to tell the story about your high school teacher?
What?
High school teacher, you don't want to tell that story?
I don't know what.
That's my favorite story.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know her name, but anyway,
You
Mom,
tell.
in high school. Now you remember. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I go on from high school. All my life, I just wanted to be a secretary. That was just my dream. And the teacher told me, she said, Jeannie, you'll never make it.
You thought this was going to be a positive story.
And I was so sad. But I made it.
You showed her.
You've made this day perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.